Morning, folks. This is Joe and Brianna, the Fullerton Informer. We're coming to you again. We've got another day in sunny Southern California where we've got a situation on our hands, and a lot of people just don't seem to realize it. You know, I had a lot of time last night to think about what we face and what the solutions are, and I'm raising a family, and it's extremely expensive to do so here in Southern California. And although the weather's really nice 12 months a year, it comes to a point where you have to question why we remain. And honestly, the simple reason I'm remaining here is I'm just going to ride up the value on my house until it's time to go, because that's really the strategy at this point. I'm going to get out before it's too late, but you know, we've all got to do what we can to survive, and I wanted to talk to you about your children, ladies and gentlemen, because that's what's really under attack right now in Southern California is the children. You know, as a child, growing up in the 70s, I'm in my 50s now, and any given day there would be children riding all over the place on their bicycles, little baskets in the front, and they'd have their lunch, or sometimes the girls would pick flowers. We young boys would, you know, go pick fruit off of people's front yards, because back in those days people actually had fruit trees in their front yards. But today, in spite of dramatically improved air quality, by the way, those are Fullerton's roads, folks. That's why this thing's bouncing up and down. I live in Fullerton, California, and Fullerton, California, I'm going to get off track a little bit here. Fullerton, California has the worst roads in Orange County. And Fullerton is missing about $100 million from its coffers. And I don't know where that money went, but that money was supposed to go to road repair over the last 30 or 40 years. They've repaired no roads. What they've done is they've managed to keep everybody asleep that lives in the city and keep re-electing the same idiots that keep the problem from being solved. And we got people like Bruce Whitaker, who is a gigantic Republican phony fraud who refuses to look at the missing money. We've got Doug Chafee, who wants to be a county supervisor, who refuses to look at the missing money. And we've got Jennifer Fitzgerald, who works for an Agenda 21 developer consultant, Kurt Pringle. And then we got Greg Seaborn, who really just, I think he just sits there and waits for his orders to come from Tony Buscala. But these people have allowed this town to become an Agenda 21 prototype, where high-density housing, 10-story buildings, they try to sneak them in and rezone property when no one's looking. It goes on in a lot of cities, but in my city, it's really out in the open. The roads are a mess, and they want these huge buildings with no yards. And what we got to do basically is just stop these people from allowing the Agenda 21 to go forward. So in California, what we have now are a bunch of people that live in these expensive homes, and these kids never come outside. And there's a problem that's happening with the children right now, and there's a major vitamin D deficiency epidemic taking place in our youth. And the result of that is dental decay, bone density issues, and all kinds of other problems that are associated with vitamin D deficiency, because the children are not outside. Now, one of the major problems is the video games. And like I said, I have a family, and I fought this battle for years. And what we can look forward to with the video game systems is they'll become more addictive and more deadly. You know, for years there's been a video game system called Call of Duty. And that is a satanic mind control system developed by Microsoft, which is run by Bill Gates. And it has been relatively unchanged for the better part of a decade. And that system is designed to addict young men, make them drop out of school, and basically make them give up on life. And in some cases create depression and suicidal thoughts and violent behavior. You know, that thing is bad enough. And trust me, I've had my battles with my son playing that game, and fortunately he's over it. He doesn't play it anymore, but he did for quite some time. And I saw what it did to him. But because he came from a stable home with loving parents, and he's intelligent and strong and smart and independent, it didn't take him down. But you know, it takes a lot of kids down, folks. I wanted to talk to you about this situation because they've had that technology for well over a decade, and they haven't changed anything about it. They haven't changed the lighting, they haven't changed the avatars, they haven't changed anything. They use the same algorithms, the same computer program as they've used for over a decade. Why? Because it's so effective. But I want to talk to you about the latest danger in video games, folks. And I hope you're getting my notifications when I go live, because it seems like a lot of people aren't, but we're here right now talking, and I'll keep these going because there's a lot of information to disseminate, and there's a short amount of time to get it out there. But the newest rage in these video games is something called Fortnite. Now, Fortnite is another one of those video games that these kids play, highly addictive, and what I wanted to point out about Fortnite is that Fortnite uses an amount of blue light in its background. And that is by design. Fortnite is a video game that will keep your child awake at all hours of the night for a variety of reasons. One of which is the adrenaline it stimulates, the inhibit of the phosphoresstradiol in the liver, which basically keeps the adrenaline going. It has the dopamine release that's highly addictive. It has all these endorphin releases take place from playing these games. That's part of the addiction. But the worst part about this Fortnite is the color scheme, folks. And the blue light at night, I've gone into great detail. The blue light at night is deadly. I know people who have a hard time falling asleep because they're addicted to soap operas or their television programs or their Netflix, and those are the grown-ups that I know, and those programs are always delivered in this eerie blue light as the predominant color scheme in the production. And I will tell you that the reason that they use that is to wear down our health, and blue light is a problem. It's a very serious problem, folks. Now, it's okay if you're inside a Las Vegas casino, let's say the Paris or the Venetian, and it's got that blue sky at night because they want you to stay awake and blow all your money. But if you're a normal human being who has to go to work or school the next day, the blue light at night is the worst thing imaginable next to drinking coffee all night. Because the blue light, once it goes through your eyes, inhibits the production of melatonin, which keeps you from falling asleep. When I talk about things being weaponized, folks, I'm not kidding. You know, they've already weaponized the streetlights in California by putting in LED lighting all over the municipal property. And then property owners, business owners, have put in LED lights that are pushing 6,500 degree Kelvin temperatures, which are super bright white. A lot of them are bluish white. Anytime you go to the grocery store parking lot, you're going to see these bright white lights. You're going to see these LED lamps, or even these induction lamps. They're really bright white, folks. They've put bright white lights everywhere, and I've said this before. They put the headlights, they've now put projector beam headlights in the cars that are pushing 6,000, 6,500 degree Kelvin temperatures. Look, folks, they've weaponized all the lighting, so they've done it. And I can tell you right now, the solution is, number one, you can't have any blue light at night, but your kids, if they're playing this video game called Fortnite, and it's ironic that they call it Fortnite, because it is actually telling you what they're doing, because what it's doing is at night, it's robbing the fortification of the nutritional absorption and rest that's supposed to be taking place at night. And how this works is if you don't sleep, you don't heal, and you have metabolic processes that don't run properly, and you age tremendously. All of these things are intentional, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, like I said, when I was a kid, we'd have these kids riding around on bikes. We couldn't wait to see who was outside. And I remember all the pretty girls growing up when I was a teenager. We'd be riding around in our Schwinn Cruisers. And it was a healthy, natural thing to just be out in the sun and breathe in the fresh air. Even at the time, it was second stage smog alerts and our lungs hurt. We were still outside in the sun with no sunscreen and no hats. And look at us now. You people that slather all this toxic sunscreen all over your children, their skin is their largest organ, and sunscreen is laden with metallic nanoparticles that are absorbed through the skin and poisonous, have no idea what you're doing. And I'm just trying to tell you without getting mad at you that you need to stop killing your kids and let them go out in the sun. These LED computer monitors are the worst things for your eyes, ladies and gentlemen. They are backlit like nobody's business. Your eyes were not designed to look at backlit screens. Our eyes were designed to look at reflected light. Everything you see on the face of the earth is reflected light. You're not supposed to look at the source of the light, and that's what they've got us doing. If you have to look at a computer screen, folks, here's the order of which they're the most safe. The safest screen that you can look at is a plasma screen. The second safest screen you can look at would be an LCD, a liquid crystal display screen. And the worst screen you could look at are LED screens, and that is exactly what has proliferated the market. They've weaponized the computer screens. They've weaponized the street lights. They've weaponized the car headlights. Now, the indoor lighting that has come online in California, and this is all under the guise of Agenda 21 energy savings, because after all, we have to keep conserving all this electricity that they could generate out of thin air, because the technology existed back when Tesla was alive, before they stole it and robbed him of it and suppressed it. But they want you to change all your light bulbs to light-emitting diode LED lighting. And they have conveniently manufactured and designed this lighting system. All LED lights have a tremendous amount of high flicker rate. And I could tell you that that in and of itself is a problem. But what will be another agenda involved in these lights is the color spectrum. Now, if you go anywhere now and you look at the indoor lighting in a restaurant or a store or at the mall, and if you look at the recessed lighting in the ceilings or even on the candelabras that are hanging over the tables at these restaurants, and you look at them directly, they hurt your eyes. All the lighting everywhere, including the flashlights, ladies and gentlemen, has been weaponized. This lighting is designed to destroy your health. This lighting is designed to disrupt your circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is your sleep cycle. Your sleep cycle is the key to your vitality and your health. And it's being disrupted intentionally. Another component of the California kill grid and this Agenda 21 slave system, under the guise of all this modern advancement, is the proliferation of microwave systems, public Wi-Fi systems, private Wi-Fi systems, Wi-Fi systems that are coming off of everybody's cable box forcibly, Wi-Fi systems that are actually hanging on the light poles connected to the cable lines. I've seen these all over the place. There are hotspots hanging from the lines on the telephone poles. The smart meters, the emissions from the smart meters on the water meters, the smart meters on the gas meters, the smart meters on the electric meters. They have connected all of these systems. We have cell towers everywhere. These microwave emissions, ladies and gentlemen, suppress melatonin production. They destroy your pineal gland. They cause arrhythmia, atrial fibrillation, insomnia, depression. And when these devices, emission source, which is the antenna, are kept in direct proximity to tissue, depending upon what tissue they're kept in proximity to, they could result in anything from cancer to infertility and autism. So if you're keeping your laptop in your lap, if you're keeping your cell phone in your bra, if you're keeping your Bluetooth right next to your thyroid, if you're keeping your cell phone next to your head, if you're keeping your cordless phone on your nightstand, if you're keeping your cell phone under your pillow as an alarm clock, you're going to end up with brain tumors. You're going to end up with thyroid cancer. You're going to end up with ocular cancer. You're going to end up with all kinds of problems, folks. Now, if you're a teenager or a young boy playing with wireless video gaming controllers, you're going to end up with testicular cancer. You're going to end up with polyps. You're going to end up infertile. If you're a young girl and you can't stop keeping your iPad in your lap, you're going to have eggs that won't be able to be fertilized. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't believe this is a spiritual battle, I can tell you right now, you're deceived. I'm a Christian, folks, and I know some of you don't like the fact that I bring Jesus Christ up a lot, but I will tell you that the Bible has been my roadmap to escape the blindness and the slavery that this life had tried to place on me. And I will tell you that the wisdom that I have been given did not come from man, and it is not of my own intelligence. It has been given to me by God, and He'll give it to you too, and He'll open your eyes. You see, these things just start to make sense, and they start to, like, literally roll out right in front of your face and stare you in the face once you become a born-again Christian and you see things for what they are. And that comes after turning from your wicked ways and asking God to keep you from turning back to your wicked ways and accepting what Jesus Christ has done on that cross, shedding His sinless blood for our sins. And when you make that commitment, folks, a lot of things will start making sense. Now, so in this kill grid in California, they keep trying to release all these diseases. You know, they were caught in Orange County. I busted the Vector Control District trying to release St. Louis encephalitis into the community so they could justify aerial spraying and possibly even lead to a forced vaccination situation. Type in Orange County Vector Control St. Louis encephalitis Fullerton Informer into a YouTube or a Google search engine, and you'll see the article I did on it. You know, they staged the Disneyland measles outbreak to get us forced vaccinations, but that's part of the California kill grid agenda model for the rest of the country. And what's going on in China right now is you've got, 100 million chickens that have been infected with REV that's been around since the 30s for medical experimentation. That's an immunosuppressive virus that is ubiquitous in the poultry population and the avian population in China. And now what they've done is they've black boxed and what they've done is they've created a designer complementary avian influenza strain in a laboratory that just so happens to be the perfect match for the bloodstream and antibodies of these REV infected chickens in China, which happens to have an Ebola-like fatality rate, folks. You know, we're pushing 50% fatality rate on this disease. So that's another thing that they'll probably release in the kill grid in California, are some of these diseases that will justify the destruction of massive amounts of our food supply, and the justification for agents of the state driving around in true green trucks with tanks on them, spraying everybody's property with toxic chemicals. That's what they're doing in Orange County right now over a citrus psyllid. They want to get in everybody's backyard and spray all their citrus trees, which is the last remaining source of good vitamin C left in Southern California, because all of the produce that's brought into Southern California, all the fruit, is brought in from foreign countries that's picked when it's not ripe and gassed with ethylene and ripened in refrigeration units and shellacked with some sort of resin to make it look shiny, but it's devoid of the nutrient content and the life-giving vitamins and compounds that are only derived from proper ripening connected to the plant in sunlight, and that's not happening. So they're going after our fruit production in our own yards now in the California kill grid. They want us out of our cars in California because they want us on public transportation. So when we ride the public transportation, we'll be forced to stay inside a metal coffin that's going to have these high-powered WiGig systems in them. And these new Wi-Fi WiGig systems that are coming are going to be running at 60 gigahertz, which affect the oxygen molecules. I've talked about this too. I'm going to keep talking about this. They want us on public transportation, the planes and the trains. They want us in these metal sarcophaguses that are bouncing the frequencies up and down off the floor and the walls, so they can put in these Wi-Fi devices and have every knucklehead on the planet staring at their laptop on their laps, irradiating their prostate on their way to their job, so they can wear a wireless headset and put the laptop in their laps, so they can give themselves brain cancer and prostate cancer, so they can end up in City of Hope with a seed implant on Viagra. Hey folks, I'm just telling you, this stuff is all real. And some of you may not like my delivery, but that doesn't mean the information has to be ignored, folks. I don't know how else to deliver this information. I can see the comments. I can read them, folks, just so you know. I'm not ignoring you. But I got to keep my eyes on the wheel. Because in the California kill grid, there's lots of cops that want to give me tickets, and there's lots of people that are heavily medicated and jacked up from their blue glow screen video game night with their microwaved Hot Pockets on aspartame and serotonin reuptake inhibitors and blood pressure pills, driving around at 10 o'clock because they just woke up from their disability coma. Unfortunately, that's what's going on in California right now. Now, I can also tell you what's going on in California is Trump has turned this place into a third world cesspool with the welfare plantation, sanctuary state policy, no wall, no action on the rogue state government, telling all the illegals to bring their kids in here for the free breakfast, the free lunch, the free dinner, the free school, the free books, the free backpacks, the free fillings, medical care, vision care, sex changes, birth control, abortions, books, housing, EBT cards to supersize at the drive-thru, and even the free copays and rides to the ER when they have diabetic coma from all the overdose on the high fructose corn syrup that's been subsidized by the federal government and put into the school lunch program, into the soda cans, and into the bloodstreams of all these people jumping the fence getting the handouts. And that's also spilling over into our children as well, folks. Because another component of the kill grid is the sugar, folks. The sugar. I want to tell you something right now. And look, folks, I'm here to tell you that another component of the California kill grid is the sugar. And sugar is a weapon. Sugar is a weapon, folks. I want you to hear me on this. Sugar, S-U-G-A-R, fructose, high fructose corn syrup, glucose, glucose syrup, dextrose, maltodextrin, high fructose corn syrup, refiner's syrup. I want you to remember these words, folks, because if it's in your food, it's not food. It's poison. Your body is not designed on refined sugar, folks. Listen, I drive a BMW, and it calls for mid-grade gasoline. I do not put alcohol in my tank. I do not run my car on nitrous, all right? Let me tell you something, folks. What they've put in our bodies with the food supply is a weapon. They're killing us. Now, for those of you who want to avoid sugar, don't replace it with aspartame or sucralose or acesulfame potassium. Those are just as bad. You need to eat vegetables and meats and eggs and fruit and nuts and seeds. California is the model for the kill grid. Let me explain how it's being done in that aspect, folks. They are warehousing everybody in high density housing. They're putting everybody in these 10-story tilt-ups with Wi-Fi routers behind each wall, above and below from the ceilings and the floors, because everyone's got smart meters and Wi-Fi's and cordless phones and microwave ovens. And then when they let you out of your cage on the weekend, you walk over to the commissary prison called Costco or Sam's Club or Walmart or one of these other places that sell all the Frankenfruit that's being trucked in. All right? They want you crammed into a stack and pack prison staring at blue glow screens all night, coming out looking like a vampire wearing Ray-Bans, okay? They don't want you to be healthy and awake. They want you like a caged rat where the devil and his angels can steal your soul and suck you into satanic video games and all kinds of horrible programming that enters your soul through the eyes, through your eyes. The way to your soul, the window to your soul is through your eyes. I can tell you right now that this is a spiritual battle, all right? Now, sugar is a weapon, folks. It will kill you. It will make you fat. It will make you stupid. It will make you sick. It will make you depressed. It will make you have mood swings. It will make you get infections. It will give you high blood pressure because all the sugar you eat makes you retain water and screws up all your insulin levels, and that's why you can't stop eating. You're always hungry all the time. If you have a problem with your appetite, folks, I can tell you right now that sugar's probably the culprit, because I want to tell you, I don't know any of you who like to drink, but I know that when I have drank in the past and I was out celebrating with some of my friends, after you have a couple, your body says, give me some more to keep the buzz going. Years ago when I was younger and stupid and when I did drink, that's what I remember is and I noticed that when I'm out and I see people, they keep drinking and they get stupider and stupider as they keep drinking. But that's because their body is telling them that the alcohol level is dropping, and to keep their buzz going, they need to keep it consistent. The same thing goes with sugar, folks. When you're consuming sugar, it's a drug, and it's not natural, and it doesn't belong in your bloodstream in the refined form. Your body will create its sugar from the raw products, the raw materials of food, like cauliflower and vegetables, and even some fruit that you should eat sparingly. But if you put the refined product in your bloodstream, that just screws everything up. And I'm here to tell you that is the problem. If you get off the sugar, your appetite will drop, and you won't be chowing down every 10 minutes on these processed packaging poisons. That is the agenda, folks. That's why they put all these excitotoxins and sweeteners and advertise all these horrible products for you and your children and your family and your loved ones. And the solution to the consumption of these is allopathic medicines, petrochemical poisonous pills. And that's the California kill grid by design, folks. Big old Kaiser Permanente hospitals all over the place, where if you go in there, even if you're 6 months pregnant, they're going to try to put all kinds of vaccines into you. I had a friend of mine tell me yesterday that she went to Kaiser. She's several months pregnant and somewhat of a high risk with gestational diabetes, blood pressure issues, preeclampsia, basically a high-risk pregnancy textbook case. And every time she goes in, they're trying to push the DTaP shot or the flu shot. I mean, my goodness, folks, how in the world can you try to inject somebody that's already in a high-risk pregnancy with toxic nanoparticles and mercury and everything else? But that's part of the scientific kill grid. Look, ladies and gentlemen, California is a beautiful place. It's still a beautiful place. You could still grow your fruits and your vegetables in your yards in containers. You could buy water filtration for your water. You can do things that we still have freedom, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason I'm bringing all this stuff up is because you don't have to put in LED lights. You could filter your water. That's another thing in the California kill grid is the water supply. And they're putting fluoride and halide compounds in the water to destroy your pineal gland. And what that does is that kills your ability to have wisdom and discernment. And, when you look at all of the things that are being done to us, there's ways to stop it, folks. The reality is, you could grow your own food. And here's another thing. You need to eat food that's grown in the sunlight. And a lot of these factory farms are indoors under fluorescent lighting or artificial lights. And you can't eat that stuff because you've got to eat food that's grown in the sunlight. And I'm just trying to tell everybody out there, there's a lot of information I've just given you, folks. You can't possibly You can't possibly live a full and happy life when you're on all these products. Now, you go into the stores now, and 99% of the stuff in the stores is poison or is dangerous. You don't need it. It's not there just to make money, folks. This stuff is weaponized. It's deadly. And these corporate logos are all occult symbols that are right in your face. All right? Now, why am I going through all this? Well, because one of my favorite verses in the Bible is when this guy came to Jesus at night. And you know what he asked him? He said, Lord, what must I do to be saved? And he asked Jesus this because he was afraid to come during the day. And so Jesus said, hey, look, dude. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And love your neighbor as yourself. And you want to know something, folks? I love my wife, I love my children, I love my family, but I love all of my family, my human family. And you know what I hate? I hate what the devil is doing, and I hate what evil people do to good people. And I hate the suffering, and I hate the intentional infliction of misery and pain and suffering that's needless on unsuspecting, good, hardworking, simple people that are just trying to survive and raise a family. We need to put the devil on death row, folks, because that's where he belongs. And depending upon your biblical eschatology, he's already there. Here's the deal. We cannot let the devices of Lucifer and his minions continue to destroy our lives. And let me tell you something, folks. Sin comes in a lot of forms and packages. It comes in the weaponized food. It comes through the weaponized television screens. It comes from the weaponized music that's got subliminal sounds, words, lyrics, and even horrific damaging frequencies. We need to put the devil on death row, folks, and I need you to help me. And you know what? We need to put the people that serve the devil on death row. And this is how we do it. We expose the works of darkness. And we expose Lucifer as he comes as an angel of light to rob, kill, and destroy God's people. And that is all of us. Everything that we have right now that has been given to us as technology has been weaponized. But we can use it for good. And we can use it to waken people and enlighten people and use their weapons against them. We must not let evil win. And we know that it can't. But evil failing is directly proportionate to the efforts that good people put into fighting it. There is no power over us anymore, folks. If you're in Jesus Christ, I can tell you right now, you'll see what the music industry is. You'll see the lyrics. They're overtly satanic. Pull out some of the albums from the 70s and the 80s and look at the Highway to Hell from AC/DC and Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven and the Nine Inch Nails and now we have Bones, and we have all these artists now that are overtly satanic. Their lyrics are all about killing yourself and committing suicide. And I can tell you right now, we need to stop letting these people have their way with us and our children. Say no to the vaccinations. Don't put these weaponized lights in your home. Get some blue and white blocking glasses for your drives around at night. They sell glasses that you can wear, that you can cover your eyes. And, you know, there's ways to protect your family from the poisons in the water. You buy a reverse osmosis filtration system for $100 at Costco, or go online and have a plumber put it in. And the filters are $5 and $10. And I can tell you right now, you need to open your eyes to things like Monster Energy Drink, where on the cover of that can is the 666 with that disgusting satanic thing that's full of L-taurine and artificial sweeteners and caffeines. And yes, look folks, all we have to do is walk by the garbage in the aisles and don't put it in the cart. All we have to do is don't turn on that idiot box that's satanically destroying your family. All we have to do is drive by Starbucks. Did you know caffeine is a weapon, folks, and it's highly addictive? And any cardiologist will tell you that Starbucks puts 5 times the caffeine in their coffee to addict people. Do you know what the Starbucks logo is, folks? Do you know what that picture is on the Starbucks logo? Do you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. It's a siren. And do you know what a siren is, folks? A siren is one of those mythological creatures when the men would be sailing on their ships in the ocean, and they would all be hearing these voices of what appeared to be a woman. And so what they thought they were hearing were women luring them to their den. And what the siren's call would do is it would lure the ship to be driven right into the rocks. Ladies and gentlemen, the Starbucks logo is a symbol of female power and beauty being used to lure and destroy men. And if you look at what the corporation is all about, it has everything to do with nothing to do with what is wholesome and the godly model for the family. Listen, I go into all kinds of things right here, folks. You can look at Disney666.com. You can look at Apple666.org. I talk about all these things on the FullertonInformer.com. And the California Kill Grid is the model, folks. California is replete and loaded up with phony churches that preach dispensationalism, this phony escapist nonsense that says Jesus is going to come back and take us all out of here before the economy collapses or World War III starts. And I will tell you that that is nothing but a bunch of BS. And these churches that are preaching that are a bunch of crooks. And they're stealing all your money. And what they're doing with that money, I will go into in a different program, folks. What I want to talk about in this one is what is going on in California. And California is the model for the Hunger Games, folks. And I will tell you right now that everything that's being done in California is a beta test for the rest of the country. I'm telling all of you right now, you need to wake up. The 5G systems that are coming, that's a whole nother agenda. California is going to be a pioneer in 5G technology. 5G is the new microwave communication system that is the ultimate surveillance and weaponized grid that has ever been invented in human history. And it was developed in Israel. You heard me, folks. 5G was developed in Israel. And it's coming to California. I'm telling you, folks, you need to do everything you can to stop that weaponry from coming to California from Israel. It was designed over there, and it is a weapon, folks. And 5G needs to be stopped. 5G is the final nail in humanity's coffin, because it is the ultimate weapon. The ultimate weapon that will do all kinds of diabolical things to people who have no idea what is causing their ailments. There were several places where WiGig systems and 5G systems were rolled out, and the results were frightening. People were being paralyzed, they were passing out, they were having heart problems, they were getting sick, deathly ill. They called this mystery illness in some of these places that had no solutions. And I will tell you that once these systems are in place, they'll be able to make all kinds of illnesses begin to manifest, and they will claim that they've discovered some new pathogen that they need to vaccinate us for, folks. Look, I could go on, I could keep talking, but I have to get on with my day, and I know a lot of you do as well. But here's the truth, folks. I will tell you right now. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but through him. And we as Christians, and we as brothers and sisters of God, need to put the devil on death row, because that's where he belongs. And if we can put the devil on death row and get him ready for the lake of fire where he belongs, and we can all collectively throw him into it where he needs to be, and kick him out of this place that he thinks he owns, then we can reclaim this world for its intended purpose. And that intended purpose is for us to live in harmony with each other, to love one another, and to be fruitful and multiply. 95% of the United States is rural open space, ladies and gentlemen. And there's plenty of land and water and resources for all of us. I'm praying for this country, for the United States of America. And I can tell you right now that you all need to be too, but we need to pray in Jesus' name that the Christian church will wake up and it will fight this evil in an incessant manner. And let us go in peace, but let us go in truth and in courage. And tell everybody about the FullertonInformer.com. Tell everybody about everything I've just mentioned, because it's all about saving people from killing themselves and destroying themselves by wicked, evil people that are satanically inclined to run these corporations to further a eugenics agenda from the pit of hell, ladies and gentlemen. And in Jesus' name, we're going to stop it. Amen.